Hey everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for September the 14th, 2021. And this is episode 131 of the Idiot Quilter. And you can see behind me that some things have changed. If you're new to the channel, you know that you don't know, but what I have done is I have purchased a long arm. Now I don't have it yet, but I had to make room for it, which means that I had to consolidate the workshop and my sewing room and clean that all out because that's where the long arm's going to go, and place my sewing room in here, which used to be my craft room. So I've did an extensive explanation of what I've gone through to do all of that up to this point in the last week. Yes, it's only been a week for that, and I got awful lot accomplished, and I am going to publish a video showing the various stages of getting this room into shape. Now, I'm still working on the fine tuning of it, but the bulk of it is done. And so right behind me now on my new sewing table is my embroidery machine, and at the far end of that table is my sewing machine, and in the middle is my cutting area. I've also set up a pressing area. I've set up another secondary area for my second sewing machine, and I have a serger area as well. So I have a lot of things that I've rearranged, and you can see I have my fabric up on the shelf over here behind me so I can see what I have. And yeah, it's been a lot of work in the last week, but I think it'll be well worth it. Now, for those of you that have been following me, know that I recently purchased a long arm. Well, I haven't actually bought it yet. I'm in the middle of doing the financial transaction, and I've run into a problem. I was paying for this since it's from APQS and they're in the States. The easiest way to pay for it was to put it onto my credit card. Now, it's a very large amount of money. It's over $15,000 US. Not a problem on my credit card because I'm the kind of person that does not carry a balance on his credit cards. I pay it off every week. Especially during COVID, I've been using my credit card more than I use cash or even a debit card. I just find it's easier to, keep a record of my transactions. I'm a very disciplined person when it comes to doing my financial books and things like that. And on top of it all, it's a card that gives me points. So why not put something that's over about $19,000 Canadian onto the credit card, because that's going to give me a lot of points that I can use for like Amazon gift certificates, things like that. So I did realize that I should call the credit card company in advance to let them know I was having this big transaction, because when they have suddenly a huge transaction on a card, they will often lock down your card for security reasons. Okay, I get that. So I called them up yesterday, just before I called APQS to make the arrangements for payment, and said to them, okay, I'm going to have a charge for a very large amount. This is the amount, this is the company, and I would like you to note that on my card so it doesn't get rejected. And they said no problem, they would do that. She typed in away madly at something in a computer, and all done. So I contacted APQS, I made the transaction, I gave them my credit card information, and it was rejected. Great. So I phoned back Visa. And Visa tells me, after I sat on the line for a good 10 minutes, because, they're experiencing above average volume of calls. That's their standard recording for everything on all companies, They just blame it on COVID right now, but it's the same. It doesn't matter whether we had COVID or not. So I finally got somebody, told her my situation. She looked up my account, said, oh yeah, the person that took that call put that information in the wrong section of the computer. So they would connect me with security because the card was now locked. Okay, thank you. Another 10 minutes goes by. I finally get somebody on security. She asks me every security question there possibly is on the face of the earth, except what color underwear I was wearing. And she says she can look after that. So then she comes back and says, you need to go into a branch of the Royal Bank, into your branch, to verify your identity. I said, well, one, I don't have an account with the certain bank that this card is from. I never have. Well, that's not true. When I was a kid, I did, but I don't deal with that bank anymore. But I've had their card, their Visa card. It's Visa. They can't do too little for you. And I've had this card for over 30 years or longer. Yeah, it expires. They send me a new one. No problems. I'm a good customer. Well, I'm a good customer from the point of view that I don't carry over a balance or anything like that, which actually probably makes me a bad customer to them because they're not making any interest off of me. But nevertheless, I said, well, this is ludicrous. Suddenly I have to have identification and I have to go physically into a branch during COVID, all that kind of stuff when we're trying to be, have human contact, a lot less human contact, and you're making me do this. And of course, she's just a peon who works for Visa. And she said, well, she talked to her supervisor, but he said no. So guess what I'm doing this morning? Right now, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning when I'm making this on a Tuesday morning. The bank opens at 9:30. Luckily, the local branch is only a little over a kilometer away from me. So I'm going in there and see what kind of runaround I get from that, because I'm expecting that this will not be cut and dry. I think what's going to happen is that I'll go in, they'll verify my identity. They must have to send something to Visa. I will ask about that. I will ask, how quick is that going to go to Visa? I need this now and whatnot. I may even get them to try to call Visa and fix this up. I'll see. I'm going to be very persistent. I have a feeling I'm going to hit brick walls because anytime you're dealing with a bank, you hit a brick wall. Yeah, it's just like the banks are very good at taking your money. They're not very good with anything else when it comes to that. So I go in there this morning. We'll see what happens. Now, if I get a hassle and whatnot, then I will go over to my own branch, the TD branch, and I have the forms that APQ has sent me for an alternative way to send them the money, and that's by wire transfer. And I have the information for that. I'll go to my bank. I will wire transfer the money to them, and then I'll come home and I will cancel my Visa card after I cash in my points on them. So yeah, because I'll be done with them. Now, I went online to see if I could file a complaint against them. You can't. It's a brick wall all the way around. Very frustrating. It's one reason why here in this country, Canada, we need our government to step up and start regulating the banks and all their related services, which include credit cards, in a much more rigid way. The banks in this country have our government in their back pocket, and they get away with murder. And big business rules the world, and us poor little peons that make the big money for those companies, not for ourselves, but for them, we get screwed left and right. So this wasn't going to start off today as a rant, but I want to get that off my chest. So I will let you know next week how that all pans out. Okay, what is next on my list? Check my notes. What has happened? What's next? What's new? There's nothing new. Nothing is happening. I've been spending all of my time getting my new sewing room set up. Okay, so demos this week is, and this is related to the sewing room redo. And I will, I inserted a short video showing what it looks like on my vlog yesterday. And if I think about it before I end this today, what I will do, I'm not going to say possibly, what I will do is right now, I am going to insert for you just a short little video to show you what my new sewing room looks like. So here it is, my new sewing room. And I'm not quite done yet. I still have some drawers and things to clean out and relocate things, but you can see my central area. I have my embroidery machine, I have my sewing machine, I have my cutting mats. In that far corner, I have a ironing station. Over on the other opposite corner, my other sewing machine and my serger is there. You'll notice that I've cleaned up the walls, taken a lot of the artwork down, put my pin cushions out, and this is my fabric stash. And there is some fabric in the drawers, but this is the bulk of the big pieces that are here. Now I can find everything very easily with this. And if we go around, you will see I have my printers all lined up here. This is my sort of my desk area for my computer. The Cricut stayed where it was, but I cleaned out this corner. There used to be a TV stand in there with a computer on it. Now it is sort of the electronics corner, central corner, where everything comes there to be distributed out to other devices in the room. And this is my 3D printer mill. And yeah, I have three 3D printers now. So there's a story here to be told, and I'll be telling you that in a few minutes. So it's coming along. All of these drawers need to be cleaned out as well because I need some more space. And there's a lot of electronic equipment in there that is obsolete, so it's got to go. So that's how far I've gotten in a week, and I'm really happy with the result. So in that little video clip, you can see that I'm using IKEA products for my sewing cutting table. In my old sewing room, I already had 4 Alex drawer units in white and a tabletop, and that's what I had my embroidery machine on, and I kept a lot of my fabrics and other notions and things in the drawers below that. When I decided to move everything into my craft room, I needed to double the size of that, so I went to IKEA and got another tabletop and 4 more Alex units. Unfortunately, I could not get white Alex units. There seems to be a shortage on white Alex units these days, but I could get at $10 more per unit this blue-gray color, which actually kind of like the color of them. Now, personally, I don't care what color the drawers are. I'm not into designer. So I picked those up. We got them all together. And when I say we, I mean Walter put them all together for me. Started at 10 o'clock one night, finished at about 2:30 in the morning, putting those together. But he's a night owl anyways. So, and he's had experience. He put the other 4 together back when we first got those. So he kind of knows how they go together. Of course, they did change the design slightly, but it wasn't a major problem. So I got those all set up, as you could see in the video clip, and ready to go. I need to do a little more reorganization of the drawers because things are right now have just been pretty much tossed in there as a place to keep them while I'm cleaning out the old sewing area. So I will do that next. In fact, what I'm thinking of doing, you might think this is crazy. I am thinking of actually numbering every drawer I have in this room. And I don't just have Alex drawers. I have plastic unit drawers and everything all around the room for storage. And there's different things in all those drawers. And because they're all different sizes, I can't get everything. Like I would like to have one whole section that would be, say, batting, another whole section that's cutters, you know, that kind of stuff. Not going to work that way. So I'm thinking, how will I know where I've put things? So what I might do is do an inventory of each drawer, number the drawer, give each drawer a unique number, and sit down and on my computer type up a master legend. And on that legend, there'll be 2 columns. One column will have the number of the drawer, and the other column will briefly state what's in that drawer. And so when I need to find something, I will go to that. I'll just go to my legend, you know, and they'll say, oh yeah, in drawer number 4, you've got this. That might be a little anal. I don't know. In fact, what I'm also thinking, and I'm thinking this out loud, is I might have a 3rd column where I classify the type of product that's in the drawer. Like, is it fabric? Is it a tool? Is it thread? Something like that. And then I can organize my legend in alphabetical order. So I want to find a seam ripper. I know that's under tools. I go down to a tools section. I find the drawer that has the seam ripper in it. I don't know. This might be more work than it's worth. I am kind of one of those kind of people who loves to label things and organize things. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, what I want to say about the Alex drawers is they are so well suited for storing your sewing supplies. These units have 2 deep drawers and 3 more shallow drawers. They're great. One thing I have against them, but you can work around this, is that the drawers have a stop on them when you put them together. So you lose about a third or quarter of your drawer space because it doesn't come out so you can see what's there. It's hidden back, it's tucked in. But I found if you remove those stops, you can pull the drawer completely out. The only thing you have to be careful of is pulling it out too fast and your whole drawer will come out of the unit. I did this with my Alex unit that holds my Floriani threads. And that just gave me a lot more space because basically there was a quarter of the drawer, because it wouldn't come out all the way. I couldn't get my hands in there or see what I had. I couldn't use. So this is a way to get around that. You just have to be careful when you pull the drawer out. That's all. So yeah, that's basically what I want to say today in terms of sort of a review or demo. That I do love IKEA products. Some assembly required, as we well know, which can be a bit of a bitch. But, you know, the final product I feel is worth it. Okay, and the price point is not bad either. I mean, each one of those Alex drawer units, even though I had to pay $10 extra for the correct color on them, was about $109 Canadian. Usually the white ones are usually only $99 Canadian. So, you know, it cost me about $500 to add, to double my storage and cutting space. But I don't think that's bad. That's not bad. Okay, so what's that take me to next? Next is Subscribers Quilt of the Week, and this is from a regular viewer, Donna Van de Bogart, and I'm going to insert the little video I made of her lovely creations right here. This week's Quilts of the Week from a subscriber are from Donna Van de Bogart. She is a regular viewer of the Idiot Quilter, and she has sent along some really nice examples of her work. This first one, she says, is based on the dime doors, and some are her own creations in this wall hanging, and it looks very nice, very attractive. Her second one, she says, is an owl that she digitalized and appliqued. Very nice wall hanging as well. This third one, she says she was using up scraps from another quilt, and that is a very great way to use up your scraps. Again, another very effective wall hanging. And her last one, she says, just something I put together for fun. And she says I quilted them all on my embroidery machine. So that's really nice. And yeah, that's great with the embroidery machine because you can do this on very small pieces. As you know, I have not had a lot of success doing full-size quilts using this method, but it's very effective on ones this size. So thank you, Donna, for sending these great pictures of your work. So that takes me to the show notes, and what's linked there. There is my email address, as always. That's in that section. And as well, I am still looking for people to interview, and I'm still looking for your quilt creations as well. Please limit your picture to 1 or 2 when you send it to me. I enjoy seeing all of what you do, but I can only put so many in per video, as you know. So just 1 or 2 pictures is great, and do please include a little short blurb, you know, 3, 4, 5 sentences about, you know, what the pattern was, why you made it, whatever you want to tell me about the quilt. I have received some pictures of quilts from people that did not send me a blurb, and I can't use them. I'm sorry. I can't use those pictures because I need to know about your quilt, because I know nothing about your quilt if you don't tell me about it. So please make sure you do that as well. And I'm getting low on quilts to show, so please do that. And I don't have an interview this week with anybody. I will have one next week. Actually, it's a duel that I am interviewing, 2 good friends, and they sent me a brief little bio about each of them in preparation for the interview that I'm going to conduct later this week. And they sound fascinating, absolutely fascinating, these 2 ladies. So I'm looking forward to doing that interview later in the week, and that will be out next week if all goes well. But I need more. So please consider being interviewed. Remember, I'm not looking for professionals. The professionals have their 15 minutes of fame. I'm looking for average people like yourself, to find out what your sewing, quilting, creating story is. And I'm not limiting this to just quilters. Um, if you are a crafter of some sort, I would love to interview you too. Okay, there are 3 links in the show notes below that are very important links. The retreat, the Idiot Quilter Retreat, is coming up on September the 25th. That's only less than 2 weeks away. And so I have the links for that, the Zoom link. I also have a Zoom link there for the cocktail party I am having as an icebreaker the night before on Friday, September 24th. And there is a link to an FAQ document, a PDF file, that gives you all the details about the retreat. Now, if you are planning to come to the retreat, I have asked this before. It is not a commitment, but it's for statistical purposes. I need your name, your first and your last name, and that way I will have your email address as well, and I'll know that you're planning to come. Also, I'm trying to put together a slideshow of people's creations that I would run during the retreat at some point. To date, I only have 2 pictures for that slideshow. So please, I need a picture. You don't need to give me any explanation. Just send me the picture with your full name, and that's all I need. It'll be a slideshow that will probably have a little music set in the background, and we'll just enjoy looking at people's creations. And that again includes anything. It doesn't just have to be quilts, because the Idiot Quilter is open to all crafters. So please, I need those. And I set a deadline for next Monday for those, because the weekend after that is the actual retreat, and I need some time to put the slideshow together. So, if I don't have anything to show, I don't have anything to show. It's all up to you. So please send them along. I had a lot of response to that idea in spring retreat, and the slideshow was fabulous. So really, what's stopping you? Okay, so there's a link to the last week's So Chatty, episode 25, where we answered viewer questions and comments that we've received. And there is a link for the Braided twist table runner pattern I'm about to show you, and for this week's quilt store, online quilt store. Okay, so that takes me to the quilt of the week. Is that what I'm at now? That's it. Yeah, sorry. Not the quilt of the week. YouTube channel of the week. Too many things going through my mind right now. Get on the case, Stephen. Okay, so the YouTube channel of the week is one about long arm quilting. And I discovered this, actually Walter discovered this person. She was talking about the pros and cons in one of her videos of getting a computerized quilting program for your long arm, because I'm all into machines and things like that. And way back when, before getting a long arm was a reality, I always said I want to get the computer component as well. Well, I'm not getting it. And part of the reason for that is, well, one, the cost is an extra $10,000. But it was the things this lady said about the computerized programs that I found really interesting. Like, I didn't think about the fact you may have to upgrade the software every now and then, and the upgrades cost anywhere from about $1,500 to $2,000. And sometimes those upgrades will not work with your existing tablet that you use on the long arm to run this program. So you have to invest in a new computer tablet as well. So when you hear about all of that kind of thing, it kind of makes you think, yeah, this is one heck of an expense. Also, I was thinking too, I want to learn how to use my long arm and do free motion quilting with it. And if I have a computerized program, I'll probably end up using that more, and I'm not really learning anything, am I? So, not getting that. But back to Lorena's YouTube channel, not only did I learn things about that, but she has a lot of really interesting videos, very informative about the whole business of long arm quilting. So I did a review of that YouTube channel, and I'm going to put it in right here. This week's YouTube channel of the week is called Lorena's Quilting, and I came upon this by accident when I was looking for videos about basically loading up your long arm. Actually, Walter came across this because he was looking at the computerized part of a long arm machine, and as you know, we're buying a long arm machine. We are not getting the computerized unit because that's an extra $10,000. And you know, I think it's better if I learn how to long arm quilt on my machine without the assistance of a computer at first. But upon watching Lorena's videos about using a computerized system, she has two videos, one about the pros, one about the cons. And the cons were very, very interesting and also make you second think about going out and spending that kind of money on a computerized program for your long arm machine. But beyond that, she has quite a lot of experience. I think she said at one point she has over 10 years experience doing this. She does do custom quilting for clients as well, but she's got some really good videos that are very straightforward, very clear about using your long arm. As you can see, there's a variety of videos here. Long arm quilting tension. She has hardest antique ever, long arm quilting it, 7 favorite sewing and quilting notions, why donation quilts can be an asset to your whatever. Can you remove vinyl off a t-shirt using acetone? She's got a real wide variety of videos on here that I think are very helpful. And as I said, I find that she is very clear in her explanations. She doesn't do a lot of useless chitter chatter, which drives me nuts on YouTube channels. Maybe I should be careful what I say. And yeah, I just find it extremely informative, and we have found this at a very timely moment for us. So check out Lorena's Quilting. That takes us to the pattern of the week, and this is one on my vision board that I just recently purchased, and it's called the Braided Twist. And I've done a little video here that I'm going to insert talking a little bit more about this because this is kind of a unique product. This week's pattern of the week I thought I would talk about is one that I just recently purchased and I fell in love with, and it's called the Braided Twist Table Runner. And this is what they're talking about right here in the reversible runners. It comes from a site called Phillips Fiber Art. And if we go down here, I'll show you the pattern. This is the pattern that I bought. Braided Twist. Now, I bought it at my local quilt store at Ultimate Sewing, but it is also available on Amazon. But you can buy it directly from this company. And if you do, and this price is in American dollars, well, you're getting this for $29.98 American. And that's a pretty good price because you have to buy the special ruler, as they say, tool and book sold together. You can't just get the pattern from what I know. You need this special ruler that they're showing here as well. And rulers are expensive. So I paid about $52 for this Canadian at Ultimate Sewing. When you do the shipping probably on this, if you're Canadian, and the exchange rate, it would work out to probably about the same. But it looks like a really fascinating pattern. The booklet, I have it, and I'm looking at it right now as I show you this, and it looks very detailed, and it looks like it's very easy to do. And there's some examples of this table runner made in different fabrics. I think it would look fantastic as a Christmas table runner, which if I get a chance, I may go ahead and do. Also, they do have a video about how to do this as well, which I think would be very, very helpful. So this is the pattern of the week. I'm hoping I get to this one very soon, but if I don't, at least I have everything I need for it, and it's a project for the future. Okay, so that takes me to would have been the interview, as I already mentioned, but I don't have one this week, and you already know why I don't have one this week, and I want to interview you. Think about it seriously. And that takes me then to one of my quilts that I'm going to critique, use your words. And I'm just looking here at my notes. It's called I called it the Celtic quilt, and it's my own design. So I'm going to put that little clip in here now. The quilt I'm going to critique this week is one of my own that I call Celtic quilt. Now, the reason I call it that is based upon the fabric that I use. Now, this is obviously from Stonehenge's line, Northcott Stonehenge line, and I had scraps left over. So I thought, let's do some improv quilting. Now, I had some problems with the mathematics with this, and I usually do when I do a improv quilt, but I did manage to get it to all fit together. So if you notice in this area right here, these cornerstones, those were fussy cut out of the fabric, and that is one of the places I had some trouble with the mathematics. And you can see here where they're sewn in, there's a little bit of a problem as well. But I carried on. I did some strip piecing right in this area here. And when I did these borders, I fussy cut those out of some of the fabric as well. I did the same thing with the smaller inner border in here, and again had a little problem getting my 1/4 inch just right and even on all pieces. But I'm just going to pretend that adds to the rustic style of this quilt. Now, if you notice, I did use flying geese here and flying geese up here, and I'm trying to echo this with this. And it came out not too bad with that, but I'm a little off. If you notice, these two triangles align well, and these two do not. Neither did these two. Yet there is some symmetry here. Okay, I'm pushing it maybe a little bit, because this one and this one match, this one and this one match. Yeah, okay, I don't think anybody would believe me that that was done on purpose. And then I put a wide border around it and finished it up. Now my binding is a little wonky on here as well. And I imagine if I could blow it up a little bit. Can I blow it up? I can blow it up. I'm just taking a look here at my corners. It's not very clear in this image, but I have a feeling I didn't get my corners all nicely mitered as I should have. But you know, it was a quilt made from scraps. It didn't owe me anything. And a man on a galloping horse going 3 miles an hour is not going to notice these mistakes. And you certainly aren't going to point these out to somebody who's a non-quilter. And if you show it to a quilter and they see the mistakes, they're probably going to be polite enough not to mention them. If they do mention them, they're not your friend. So anyways, that's my quilt critique for the week. So that takes me to the online quilt store that I'm going to review this week. And remember, my reviews of these stores are not because I've actually dealt with some of them. I base my judgment on them according to how their website is set up. And this week's is Blueberry Quilt Patch. Blueberry Quilt Patch is the quilt shop I am reviewing. So here's my review. This week's online fabric store is called Blueberry Quilt Patch, and this is their home page. And I have never dealt with these. They They are located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And well, I'm going to judge them according to what I find on their website. Now, right off the bat, here's something I'm not impressed with, and you may think I'm being I mean picky. Okay, let's use your words. So if you take a look at this, it's just pictures of fabric. That's it. And it goes on and on and on. I don't think that's a good home page. I think there should be immediately a link to everything that you want to go to. Now, they do have this, all items, and that's at the very bottom of the page. But I had to go to the bottom of the page to find this. Although, having said that, they do have a menu here off to the left. But again, I don't think this is an impressive opening for their in their design. There are numbers here, so I'm assuming I can find other pages. And I clicked on 2, and yeah, it's all pictures. And they're not particularly good quality pictures either. So, okay, so when I have, it has a pop-up when you put your cursor over top of the page. This one says kits available. Enjoy making a BQP original pouch with a kit. I don't like short forms. Okay, again, I may seem picky, but you know, I'm not sure what that means. Bag quilt project. I don't know what that means, BQP. I'm sorry, maybe other people do understand that, but I don't. But I'm thinking if someone's coming to your website for the first time, you might want to lay back on using short forms for things. So if I click on this, does this take me somewhere? Yes, it looks like it does. And it takes me to another picture. Okay, that's nice. Kits are available. Calculate postage. Hey, let's do this and see what happens. This is interesting. It's in Canada. Put in a postal code. Oops. So delivery to Canada. Delivery to Canada, 1730. Okay, this is Canadian, a site. I guess if I can change that, I could probably go to the US. Oh, it's got all the countries. Okay, that's kind of a neat feature because I have never seen that before. So that's telling me how much more I'm going to have to pay. And I do want that. And they've got pull down menus for this and quantity. Okay, that's not bad. But let's get out of all items. Let's look at their fabric, quilting cotton. See what they have to offer here. Okay, again, it looks like, ooh, $8 Canadian. I have a feeling that that's for half a meter. Do they do it in meters? Let's see. This is okay. Still not telling me here. Quantity. It's not giving me quantity. Maybe I need to. Oh, yeah, all right. It's a half meter. This is a little confusing. I have never seen a setup like this on any website I've ever been to date. So there's that. Okay, so basically they're charging $16 a meter. Was it a meter or was it a yard? Let's just check that again. No, it's a meter, so good for them. The Canadian company, they're selling it meters, so that I am impressed with. Okay, so quilting cotton, is that all they offer? No, they have other ones. I'm not sure if I really like this setup. Okay, go to boutiques. Yeah, the same sort of setup. Pop up. Okay, well, do they have a great selection? Specialty. There's some repeats there that we've seen before. I find navigating through this a little bit awkward because I have to do a lot of scrolling to get through these. So I don't think that is the most efficient design. Makes me wonder if this was done in-house and done by somebody who really doesn't have as much expertise maybe in doing web designs. But then again, what can I say? I mean, I don't do web design, so I'm just going by how I feel as a user. Okay, so what else do they have? They have interfacing and stabilizers, have bag making hardware, zippers, bag kits, as we've already seen, quilt top kits. Let's take a look at their quilt top kits. Again, here we go with this. Let's scroll. I mean, it's okay that they are, these are large pictures, so it gives you a good visual, but again, oh, there's one that I just bought. Let's take a look at that. Okay. There we go. All right, so what are they selling here? This grab and go quilt kit. Quilt top measuring 65 by 63. Canadian, $4. Huh? Yeah, I don't know. That must be just for the panel. Yeah, because here's the kits. Throw size, twin sides, add-on backing. All right. Again, this is very misleading in the way that it is set up. I don't think it is as user-friendly as it could be. Let's take a look at sewing and notions and tools. And here we go with the giant pictures again. And it doesn't really look like they have a lot of, well, okay, these are sub needles. These are sub menus. I have one of those. Triangles. Okay, so let's, no, acrylic triangle. No, they are just showing individual items. So, I don't think there's a great selection, at least from what I'm looking at here, of notions. Gadgets, gifts, and novelties. This is interesting. Gadgets. Let's see, what do they got? Okay, a yoga mat. Well, that's nice to know. You can get a yoga mat at a quilt shop. Okay. Storage case. I have no idea what these are. Diamond, super strong, extremely powerful, rare earth refrigerator magnets. Okay. More bags. What's this? Quilt creation with laser cuts. Okay. Kind of a mishmash here of things as well, really. What's this? Yoga block. Okay. Not really know why they sell yoga stuff, but they do. And they have a clearance section as well. So we already know about their shipping, because that seems to be when you want to get something. Just go here again, and you can calculate the postage here. Doesn't look like they're giving you any freebies as far as minimum order is concerned to get free shipping. Yeah, overall, I am not that impressed. What can I say? And I'm basing it upon just what I see on their website. And it just seems a little bit of, okay, I'll say it. All right. And this may be unfair. It's a little Mickey Mouse, really. So anyways, if there's something on here that you might be looking for, they may have it. You can check it out. At least you'll know how much it's going to cost you for shipping. That seems to be fairly upfront. I suppose if you spend a little time on here, you'll get used to the way the interface works. So that's Blueberry Quilt Patch. So that brings me to the end of this week's episode of the Idiot Quilter, and I want to thank you for watching and tuning in and putting up with my new environment as well. And I am using different equipment for this too, so I'm still working out some of the kinks and bugs in that. So thank you for bearing with me. Just a reminder about the Idiot Quilter Retreat, September 24th. That will be the cocktail party. September 25th is the actual retreat from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all the details and the facts about that are in the link to the document that's in the show notes. So do check that out as well. And I hope you can join us. Okay, so I'm off to fight with a bank. And we'll see how that works out today. And yeah, have a good one. I hope I am. Bye for now.